So I went to go see Edge of Tomorrow, or as I like to call it, action sci-fi Groundhog Day. Now it stars Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, but there's some fantastic bit parts in here for Brendan Gleeson and Bill Paxton. It's directed by Doug Liman, and he's the guy who's brought us things like Go, Jumper, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and The Bourne Identity. And all joking aside, there really are some fantastic similarities between this movie and Groundhog Day and World War II. Now, bear with me here. Aliens crash in, I believe, Germany. They kick humanity out of Europe. We've developed this power armor to help fight them. We have a heroine played by Emily Blunt. She's, badass, manages to kill a bunch of the aliens, being used as a big PR campaign. We have Tom Cruise. He plays a character, Major Cage. He gets booted down to private, accused of desertion, and shoved into the middle of the fight because he tries to bribe a general into basically not being part of the fighting. And, that's really just the opening bit. But my general thought is here, Tom Cruise plays the same character, he goes through the same character development, same character arc that Bill Murray's character in Groundhog Day does. They start off as these self-centered, just not very good people. It's just egocentric, self-centered folks. And over the course of the movie, they have to open up and start thinking outside of themselves. They get a little bit of a love interest that they try to be good enough for them. They come out the other end as these good people, and they even follow the same sort of highs and lows, the same pattern of, being high on the power of the time loop and being kind of depressive about it. And it's not enough to say they're the same movie, but they feel very similar because the main character goes through the same arc. I can't get into it too much without, spoilers, obviously, but it's really there. If you don't see it, let me know, but it seems so plain to me. And as far as the World War II thing goes, it's pretty obvious. They're not really drawing attention to it exactly, and they're not trying to preach or do any message, but the battle that you see in this movie over and over again, it's effectively all those movies where you have the military men storming the beaches of Normandy. It's that scene, just with different variations, and aliens, obviously, but just over and over again. And completely aside from that, they also have this bit later in the movie where, they're at a bar, and there are these older folks sitting in the bar talking about the good old days and talking about how back when their granddad was a pilot in World War II, and, if they had been fighting the war, it'd be over by now, and, it's obviously sort of hearkening back to that imagery from World War II films, without really trying to be a World War II movie, but it's impossible not to kind of have seen those films and see this film and not make the connection in your head. So that done, how's the actual movie? Well, it's honestly a lot of fun. The acting's fantastic. Bill Paxton's obviously having a ton of fun as the over-the-top Southern Army sergeant. Tom Cruise still has it. He's engaging and likable even when he's being a complete jackass. And, given his age, even age aside, he looks like he's in those action scenes. You believe it. You're like, okay, cool. That's Tom Cruise running around shooting things. Emily Blunt, she is sufficiently convincing. She's really good as sort of this warrioress with PTSD. I bought it. I mean, she did a great job. All of it really nicely done. The special effects, actually rather nice. Although the aliens, they were these sort of tentacly monster dog things, and they did a lot of moving really quickly and spinning, so they were really hard to make out except for a couple points in the movie, which, you didn't really need to. They just needed to be a threat, and for the most part there were these just big whirling things going around killing people, so that works. It's seeing them clearly was not sort of necessary for the film. It just kind of would have been nice, I guess. And I like how they did the action scenes in this movie. They start out a little bit hard to follow, choppily edited, a little confusing, sort of to indicate Tom Cruise's character's state of mind when he's in these early action scenes where he doesn't even know how to turn off his safety. And then as he becomes more competent, the action is much easier to follow, much clearer, And, you know, for most of the movie, the action scenes end in him or Emily Blunt sort of dying in some horrible manner. So, you know, it's kind of done for entertainment value. Kind of fun. In the end, as much fun as I had with this film, and trust me, I had a lot of fun, I still know it's not going to be for everyone. Admittedly, most people are probably going to enjoy it just fine. The action is solid and entertaining. The acting is well done. The writing is not perfect, but it is perfectly competent. And, you know, funnier than I was expecting going into this film. But the problem is there's just so much action in this movie that I think at some point people might get a little bit tired. It just might be too much for some folks. And the movie was a little bit longer than it needed to be by maybe 20 minutes. But it never felt like it was dragging. It just, at a certain point I was like, wait, is this movie, oh, it's only 10:30. Okay, we still have a half hour to go. But that aside, it's still solidly fun, and most people are going to like it unless you're just not a big action fan. Now, if you think I'm wrong, or if you disagree, or if you agree, please let me know. And until next time, folks, enjoy film.